At first, I thought it might be, newborn gestures. Sometimes they have these, little funny movements they do, but that mother's intuition started to kick in when they became repetitive, and I knew that something was wrong. It was scary. At first, I didn't realize she was having seizures. What I knew of epilepsy, I saw on TV. And I just remember, rushing across the valley to our children's hospital and just seeing all of the holiday lights and thinking and worrying about my daughter and just realizing that our life would never be the same.
Something that always gets me is people come up to me and they'll say, I could never do what you do. I could never do this. And sorry. I was that same person saying that to others. There's no owner's manual. There's no nothing that tells you that these things are going to happen. And you just have to do it because it's your kid. It's your child. You have to do whatever you can for them because they're yours. You made them. You love them. When we first found out, it was just the most devastating thing in the world. And I think for weeks and months, I was just like, is this a dream? Is this real? Is this happening? But we had to overcome and we had to deal with it.
We've really learned that we need to strive hard to not let epilepsy be a barrier to our family's happiness. So Brooke is in the other room and is really happy today. So if you hear her chitty-chatting or in the background, that's what you're hearing.
Thank you. Yeah.
We have definitely been on a journey trialing different therapies and medications since she was born. Off the top of my head, I think we've tried over 20 pharmaceuticals. Some have worked for a little while, kind of like a honeymoon period. Some haven't worked at all. So she was missing milestones. It just was really difficult. When I first learned about VNS therapy, I was relieved. After trying and failing so many seizure medications, knowing that the vagus nerve stimulator could potentially help her, it gave me a lot of hope, and I felt like there was light at the end of the tunnel. Anytime your child is going to be placed under anesthesia and have a procedure done, it causes anxiety for you as a parent. So of course we went into that day with some nervousness and apprehension, but also hope, thinking that finally, maybe this is going to be the intervention that works for her. It was a really smooth sailing procedure for Brooke. Typically her stays are long, she has a hard time, but the VNS was placed, minimal pain. We weren't in the hospital very long, and she had minimal pain during recovery. We were only observed overnight to make sure she could handle that. First month, we made some adjustments to the settings on the VNS, and we're on our way to better seizure control for Brookie. So in the beginning, it was kind of funny. So when you have a VNS, sometimes it rattles your vocal cord. And whenever she had her VNS adjusted, she would kind of make that Chewbacca sound. And so we all thought it was funny and cute, and she did too. Like she would hear herself making that sound and laugh about it. I never noticed really any pain. Sometimes when we adjust settings, she would kind of cough a little bit or act flustered, but really within minutes, those were gone and her body quickly adjusted. Thankfully, Brooke is very expressive. She is nonverbal, she doesn't use language, but as her parents, we've learned her language. We definitely know her signs and cues. And so she will let you know if she's uncomfortable, she's happy, she's sad, she will cry. And, it's your behavior. Behavior is communication. So I've learned to be kind of like a detective whenever I've been trying to figure out what Brooke wants. And based on her behavior, kind of helps me know how she's feeling.
When we heard about the VNS system, we were 100% just wanting to try something. Brittany has been such a great advocate for Brooke. She made phone calls, she did research, she looked around, and we felt that this was a good option for us.
So Brooke is not seizure-free. I just have to share that. So pre-VNS, hundreds of seizures, lots of ambulance rides. Very truthfully, the local fire department knew who we were because we were constantly having to call because our rescue meds weren't working. Post-VNS, so having that stimulation on her vagus nerve, all day long, 24 hours a day, really just reduced her overall seizure activity. I would guess that, overall 60 to 70% of the numbers of her seizures were reduced. It also helped her blossom. And I noticed once she had the VNS placed, she started to catch up. She'll always be developmentally delayed, but she started making new gains. She smiled more. Her brain was more clear. She could think better. So not only was the VNS beneficial for her epilepsy, it also helped her mentally overall. Early years, we never went anywhere. We were afraid to go on vacation. It was hard to go out to dinner. I can't tell you how many family events or activities with friends we've canceled on because of the severity of her seizures. And now that her seizures are better controlled and we have the confidence to take care of this medically complex little girl, we can make more memories as a family. I am surprised when I hear from other epilepsy parents it's not offered earlier. I think it's kind of one of those best kept secrets in the epilepsy world that needs to be utilized more. If you have a child with epilepsy, please have that conversation with their neurologist. Ask them about VNS therapy and if it could help your child. The VNS hasn't cured Brooke's epilepsy, but overall it's greatly improved her quality of life.